Jesus Christ. That's awesome. It's so clear. The ice, I can visualize it. If you can all hear us and see us okay, please comment. What's that?
I'm working on his thing. He's not signed into YouTube. That's why.
I told him to do this a long time ago, dude. I said, use your Gmail.
I thought I did.
We got a FNG in the studio, everybody, but we'll introduce him. We love him. Scooter over here. So we're trying to get him up so he can be in the chat. And we thought we had this taken care of, but this is pretty standard technical issues. We are getting up and running, and we will get this thing started here in just a moment. Lurch over there helping Scooter with some tech stuff, trying to get him signed in. All right, guys, here we are. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for being in the live chat. We're going to go ahead and get this episode started because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Big Daddy over there in his MMA tights, just ready to go. All right, let's do this thing. God and Arthur Davidson, the inventor, Arthur Davidson of the Harley-Davidson Motorcycle Corporation, died and went to heaven. At the gate, St. Peter told Arthur, since you've been such a good man and your motorcycles have changed the world, your reward is you can hang out with anyone you want in heaven. Arthur thought about it for a minute and then said, I want to hang out with God. St. Peter took Arthur to the throne room and introduced him to God. Arthur then asked God, hey, aren't you the inventor of the woman? God said, yes. Well, said Arthur, professional to professional, you have some major design flaws in your invention. God was somewhat taken back. And when he asked what the flaws might be, Arthur Davidson produced a list for him to read. Here we go. There's too much inconsistency in the front end protrusions. It chatters constantly at high speeds. Most of the rear ends are too soft and wobble too much. The intake is placed way too close to the exhaust. And finally, the maintenance costs are outrageous.
True.
You may have some good points there, and it may be true that my invention is flawed, God said to Arthur. But the last time I checked, more men are riding my invention than yours.
Yeah. Touche.
That's how we're going to get it started right here, guys. Oh, yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Hey, Bikeaholics, 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and brand new line for your Honda Goldwing named Gone Strike. It likes it, the code. Affordable chrome lighting and comfort products and CAN bus made simple with plug-and-play lighting systems. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of 03D products. What do you say, Scott? You ready to do this?
Wow, fuck it.
Well, there you go.
Just start it off with a bang, guys. We do have a newbie on the mic. We're popping his cherry. He's a great guy. We'll do a quick introduction. But anyhow, welcome back, Bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority. The Big MM, also known as the
99%ers.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By listening to this very podcast, whether you like it or not, I know you like it. You are part of what we call
the Biker Revolution.
In stereo. That is right. We do have just one question before we get started. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Mount up.
Let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
That's right. Getting down to business right away here. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast and your
high-tech redneck.
There you go.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about. This is going to be an exciting episode. You heard the joke up front. Thought we'd start it out funny because it's about to get frickin' real around here, like straight up. If you saw the title, total clickbait, but it was fun putting that title out anyways. But we will still have a debate here. But we're not actually going to fight MMA style in the studio or anything like that. This is a live episode. It is for patron members only at mid-level and above. It's got live chat. We've got a ton of people here in the chat. This is going to be an exciting subject that we're going to get to. But we do have Scott here in a moment. We'll introduce, and Lurch in the house. Big Daddy. Oh, nicely done without even a sound cue, dude. Oh my God, dude.
Yo, patrons. Hey, what's up? Y'all been working hard, got that tired of work funk. Now y'all sit back and have a drink, and by the end of the night, you'll be feeling just right.
Nicely done, Big Daddy. And I know you guys have missed him. He is an integral part of the law-abiding biker behind the scenes here, and he does so much for Lab Media. But I always love getting him back up here on a mic. He's always got something witty and something fun, so appreciate that. But today's, before I get in any deeper, it is live, so make sure you get signed up as a patron, guys. There's no better time. If you are patrons, I remind you every once in a while, I post it in the private Facebook group so you can watch the live broadcast. Also in your patron accounts, if you have those alerts set on, I put it there. Additionally, if you really want to get notified, head over to lawabidingbiker.com/live, upper right-hand corner. There is a contact form. The only emails you'll get on that form is when we are going live. And I'll send out about 2 of those, one 2 days prior and one the day of. There you go. Get hooked up. You got to be a patron to do that. And I'm excited, everybody in the chat here tonight. So today's main topic, which we got a couple housekeeping things and some actually things you're going to be interested in. And then we are going to break it down because this episode could actually go very long, but I'm going to try to keep it real. Big Daddy. Let's introduce Scott real quick. Scott in the house, you guys know him as Scooter. We're actually going to do another episode. We're probably it won't be live, but you will get it months before everybody else, because what we're trying to do is we're recording them and then we'll put them in the back end of your patron account. So it'll still look just like this with video cameras and everything, but you'll get it. So we'll probably record it. It just won't be live because it's a lot to ask everybody. We're going to take quite a long break in between and all that kind of stuff. But listen to that episode because he'll introduce himself a little bit more. But Scott, welcome. Thanks for coming up.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm. Part of the SFMC, Scooter is. And if you guys watch the Midwest documentary, you saw Scooter. He is a star of the film. He licks bugs off fairings.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Sober.
He does steak challenges and
Kinda.
vomits.
Yeah, kind of.
He gets diarrhea.
He tried.
But this is Scooter, so
Never turned down a dare.
that's attaboy. So Scooter wanted to get on a mic, and we're happy to have him. He helped us film all day, so that's about, we're not going to get into his deep history because that will be for another episode, but thank you for being here. And he's nervous, like everybody is on the mics the first time. You may not see it, but he is...
He's shivering on the inside.
Yep, he stepped up to the plate. So, yes, there you go. Real quick, Rick, show that item real quick and see if somebody wants this.
All right, so what we've got
Here's
here...
the camera.
Oh, it's right there. Okay, so what we've got here is some Ciro saddlebag filler panel lights. They are for the street glides, and they're chrome. They will fit 06 to 09. We decided to do something special. We know there's some of you that still have older bikes out there, so we're interested. We're willing to do this for $150 shipping included. So if you're interested in it, email me at rick@lawabidingbiker.com and I'll send you an invoice. I will tell you the cost on this is a lot more than that, but we wanted to do something special for the patrons that get a chance.
There you go. Nicely done. Email rick@lawabidingbiker.com and he'll send you an invoice, and they're for in between your saddlebags. Your filler panels are in between your fender and your saddlebags, and we sell a lot for the newer models, and we do sell those occasionally too. We have had them in stock in the past, so there you go. Special deal for you guys if anybody's interested. Bob Dawson in there, good. Ross Tomes, oh man, I could go on. Very cool. All right, so with that said, I really want to mention really quick, and then we're going to dive into. Make sure you guys go out if you're at all interested. So I helped Law Dog. He wanted to start a new podcast. He had been looking at it for a while, and of course, I've been doing it 6 years, so I have a lot of knowledge. And so I helped him. He's off and running on his own, but I helped him get up with some tech, and I helped him with some equipment. The Fine Blue Line podcast. If you're at all interested about law enforcement and behind the scenes, and I did an interview on his new podcast. I think he's 6 episodes or 7 episodes deep, something like that. It's just Fine Blue Line podcast. and it's in iTunes and Stitcher and Google Podcasts and all that. But I helped him do the first episode. He interviewed me as a police motorcycle officer, which will also air. Matt, you haven't edited that one yet?
I have not.
So that one's coming up. We'll air it here too. But besides me being on there, whatever. If you're at all interested in law enforcement, it's cops talking cop stuff and what's going on in the world. And there was a really good one recently about the officer that got shot 6 times in Fort Worth and lived. He did a really great interview with that guy. And it's just, even if you're not a police officer, you're all interested, check it out. It is run by Law Dog, and it's the Fine Blue Line podcast. Just giving a brother a shout out. So we are also, I see some of you in the Facebook group. We had one of our Jan from up north, Yannick. He had to bag out as a moderator for the private Facebook group. So if you're interested, if you're very knowledgeable, and we know some of you are, I was going to reach out to you via email, are very knowledgeable and very involved in that group. If you want to take on the role, I can't pay you, but if you want to take on the role of a moderator, basically there's not a whole bunch of other work. It just gives you the ability to report anything that you see that's that might not be appropriate, which we don't really have a problem in that group, or you could delete a post if you didn't think it was part of the conversation and stuff like that. So if you're interested and you're knowledgeable and you help a lot of people in that group and you have mechanical knowledge, I see names in there right now. You guys know who you are. If you're interested, hit us up, but I will be reaching out to a few of you and seeing if you want to become a moderator. That just helps. We can't be in that group all the time, and that just helps. We really haven't had any problems, but it's always nice to have other eyes and people that can take care of business. So again, because we can't be in there all the time. So we got a lot of patrons in here. It is a live event only. And of course, this episode, we got a couple sponsors up front, but it's also sponsored by the following people. And we want to thank those people right now. Scott, do you want to do that? These are patrons.
All right, let's see. I want to thank Paul Spitzen of Margarita, California. How about shout out to Curtis Campbell of Woodbridge, California, and then Stuart Carlisle of West Chester, Ohio.
Rick.
Yeah, he was the top tier, by the way. And then we've got Matthew Schelling of Spencerville, Indiana, Mark Doctor of Rio Ranch, New Mexico, who is also a top tier, and last but not least, Kylie Grubin of La Mesa, Texas.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you, because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits like T-shirts and stickers. You can get in these private live video broadcasts and chats, the private Facebook group, up to access to our premium videos up on request. And we are just so thankful for the patrons. They've really kept us afloat as other things fluctuate a lot. So we appreciate that. Helps pay the bills around here. Main topic, guys. Let's just get right into it. So I just want to open this up a little bit. So some time ago, Big Daddy's had a lot of different bikes, which is really cool because he's more motivated on that than me. I kind of am so busy, I get stuck. But he's had a victory, and we've done some episodes on that. He's ridden Harleys, and he also has an Indian Chieftain Limited 2018, right, brother?
Yep.
So I've been waiting for a while. I wanted to bring him on. He's busy, so it's hard to get him up here, but we got him on a mic, by God, and he has some really good information for you guys. And so this episode was, of course, it should be fun, but it was a little bit clickbaity. But we are going to do the Harley versus Indian. When you say we just dive right into it. And I said MMA, and we're going to take the gloves off and all that kind of stuff.
Do you have the thing from Popeye? The Let's Get Ready to Rumble?
Oh.
That might be a good one to start out with.
Well, I have the Get Ready to Rumble here, but you talking about the one, the only motorcycle worthy.
I think that's a good way to start this thing out. If you've got it somewhere easy.
We could do this. While I look for it, I'll have to look in Dropbox. Let me look. I should have had that ready, Lurch. You're right. And I even thought about that, dude. What is it? Oh, that's too many.
Should be right in there if you find Popeyes. MMA #2. That's it.
All right. You ready for this?
Let a rip, Tater Chip.
That's a good one, dude. Taking it back. Here we go.
Harley-Davidson Motorcycles, the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon.
Nicely done. Thanks, Popeye, for that. That's the gift that keeps on giving. But we are going to do Harley versus Indian. Now, let me just tell you that this is fun, guys. And there's people that ride Indians. And I love Indians. I love Harleys. I love American-made V-twins. If I could have one of each, I would. So I'm going to be the devil's advocate a little bit, but I want you guys to understand. Trust me, I would love, if I could afford it, to have an Indian sit next to my Harley. I would have loved to buy an old Victory and have that too. So when we debate a little bit, just understand we all support all of the models, each to their own, but Big Daddy can actually bring some good insight. I actually have some good questions for him, but he can bring the insight needed because he has experienced and traveled, many, many miles on these different platforms. So that's why I wanted to get him in here. So Big Daddy, should we just start with your notes or what? How do you want to do this? Here's your talking points. Yeah. And then I can dive in on some. If you guys have questions, jump in.
Yeah. I thought what would be good idea on this is to kind of go over the pros and cons, and then that will open up discussion with everybody and kind of go from there.
Good. I like it.
Okay.
And I might ask you some questions on your pros or cons, so we'll just see where this goes. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the Harley-Davidson, and what I have is a 2018 Road Glide Special. Before that, I had a 2016 Road Glide Special, and before that, a 2014 Ultra Limited. So I think I've had a total of about 10 Harleys over the last 20 years. So I have a lot of different experience on some of those. So I'm going to compare my Indian Chieftain to my Road Glide, and I'll try to give some input. Some of these inputs and pros and cons are also related to the Electric Glide. So is that pretty fair? You guys get where I'm going with that?
I like it, dude. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Okay, so pros for the Road Glide. For taller riders, it's absolutely wonderful. It's very comfortable for a tall guy. Street glides are a little bit tighter because of the fairings a little bit closer, but both provide excellent riding positions.
But what about with the Indian? So what you're saying is the Indian isn't as stretched out stock coming out of the factory, or what?
It's more like a street glide.
Okay.
So when I transfer from one to the other, I feel as though the fairing's in me, and that's actually one of the cons that I list with the Indian.
Okay, interesting, because because the Harley makes the Road Glide and the Street Glide, which the Road Glides are better for taller riders, but they're kind of more of a Street Glide platform.
Yeah.
Is what you're thinking?
Yeah, and you do get used to it very quickly, but it's interesting to me after I ride so much between the two bikes, that initial change that I feel when I go from the Road Glide to that, I almost feel like the dash is like up in my face.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever I just got a question for you before we move on there. When you're just in the middle of nowhere, like straight road, dude, in the middle of nowhere, and you're on your Indian, do you ever hear this?
I dream it. Because the Indian riders are on a road less traveled.
Oh, gloves are coming off, Scott. You guys can wrestle naked over there. I'll throw some Jello in.
Oh, no. I might be new, but I'm not stupid.
You said you never turn down a dare.
Yeah,
I got it recorded.
Which would indicate that he's not the brightest.
Right.
I'm just saying.
All right. Anyways, move on, Rick.
Yeah, next thing, Harley Point, and this is for all bikes, but I will tell you there are a lot of accessory options, both factory and aftermarket, and way more than what the Indians offer. So that's a pro for the Harleys.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point that you don't think about a lot. Yeah. I don't really know what the Indian aftermarket accessories are like. So yeah.
Well, they have a limited amount. I mean, even from the factory, it's somewhat limited, and I talk about that as a con for the Indian. As far as the cost, everybody talks about the Harley tax. Just wait till you see the Indian tax.
Oh, we got to talk about that. Good, bro. Good. Yeah. I like it.
Harley, way more saddlebag space. And yes, believe it or not, the looks are deceiving. The Indian looks as though the saddlebag is very big. It's actually because it has the cigarette lighter charging station in there, and it also has to have the electronics needed for the remote controlled lock and unlock, which is a plus that I talk about the Indian, but it is deceiving. There's way more saddlebag space on the Harley-Davidson.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Good to know. All right. Moving along. I like it.
Milwaukee-eight has great power, a touch more acceleration than the Thunderstroke 111.
And we're comparing the 114 let's just do that because there's the 107 version of the Milwaukee, but the new Street Glide Special, Road Glide Specials are coming with the 114.
Well, I'm comparing my bikes. So
right. So tell me, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
So I have the Milwaukee 108. So,
108. I said 107. Yeah.
So I'm comparing the Milwaukee 108 to my Thunderstroke 111, and I just think there's a little bit more acceleration than the Thunderstroke 111, even with the EFI air and exhaust upgrades.
Okay.
And I think that has to do with the way the motor is. That Indian has a lot of torque, and I just don't think it releases out as quickly, but it's definitely pretty close.
Okay. I like it, dude. I like it. Okay, because I always had on my notes the 114, but you're doing it between so you're saying the 108, the Milwaukee-eight. Yeah, interesting.
And the 114 as an upgrade that you buy, they still produce the 108. Yeah, now
the
it is.
Street Glide Special, on the 18s and on. Yeah. Good, or 18s, 18s and on. So yeah, good.
Accessories from manufacturers cost a bit less compared to the Indian. And then I say, yep, the HD tax is a myth, ? Because if you pay the Indian tax, it's quite a bit more.
Really?
Yeah, parts are pretty spendy, like $300 for a luggage rack. And
wow.
Yeah, it gets
See, the little things you don't know. You know what I mean? This is great information, dude. Yeah. Great.
Obviously, Harley-Davidson, more dealers nationwide, and a long history with the brand and the bike. So if you break down, there's obviously more dealers there. Indian's doing pretty good. If you look at their map, there's quite a few. But
let's just look at that while we got it on here. Indian dealership. I haven't really looked. Dealership map. Let's see if we can come up with something and kind of see. Why does it come up with that?
Well, I'm guessing because Owens, our local HD
they don't do
place.
Indians.
Well, I'm sure they work on them.
Okay, site map. Oh, that's a site map. Yeah. Oh, right there. Motorcycle dealerships. We're looking at the interwebs here by state. Indian motorcycle. Maybe that's what we're looking for. Okay, so
hit Washington. Let's compare.
Let's look at Washington.
That'll give us a good idea of how many places are compared to.
So HD. 6 in Washington.
Hey, okay.
Closest one is Pasco, down in your guys' neck of the woods.
Thunder Alley.
Yeah.
Thunder Alley. Okay.
Good dealership.
Yeah. What else do they sell? They're just Indians, or are they Polaris? I mean, do they do all Polaris shit, or what?
They don't sell the ATVs, but they sell the slingshots.
Okay.
And they are still a certified repair shop for the Victories and such. And they also sell the Kimco, which is a Korean, I think, brand of ATVs and stuff.
Okay. Cool.
Small, but growing.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, there's quite a few states listed on there if we go back. Not all the states, clearly, but... Yeah, it's getting around good. They don't actually do the map, but they list the states. So
yeah, I mean, you go to big cities, you're going to see them there, and they're obviously growing.
Yeah, good. All right, moving on. I like it.
Okay, and so I talk about also for me, I felt as though the Harley is better for longer distances, and I kind of chalk that up, and we've talked about it due to the larger fuel tank. 6 gallons versus the Indian, which is about 5 or a little over 5. I forget the exact specs, but it's definitely less.
Wonder capacity. Why they did that.
I think it's the design, the way they did the tank to make it look a certain way that they wanted it.
Yeah. I mean, the Hardys used to be down there too, the touring models, but then a lot of the new models, they started doing the 6 gallons. So yeah, all right, good to know. Yeah.
And last thing here I have is HD accessories work, and they fit really well. I always say beware of knockoffs, especially in our business where we're selling accessories, and we tell people like the King 2 tore up rack.
The rack, the luggage
is going to fit
on
the
eBay.
Authentic rack, and then you buy it for yours, and you wonder why it doesn't fit just right because
it's not machined right.
So I do like HD accessories; they work and they fit well.
Good, dude. A lot of good points, dude. So what are we? You want to go into bad points now, or what?
Yeah, let's just do the Harley and the Indian, and then.
You got any questions over there, Scott? About this?
Oh no, I'll chime in when I need.
I'm thinking. You're looking at me. I'm thinking.
I'm looking at both of you, but
right.
All right.
We will interject when we feel it's appropriate.
So basically, you won't say a word.
I'm on my second Harley, so I'm still learning.
Yeah, right on, dude. But this is good to hear. I like learning about this. All right. This is stuff that we've all talked about before. Technology with an exclamation point. Why should I have to add a WHIM? Why isn't the Bluetooth included? And then only charge me for the headsets as the accessories. That makes no sense to me.
Dumb, dude. You're dumb.
Yeah, I agree with the HD.
Sorry.
It's ridiculous that you have to buy a bunch of extra shit to make a headset work with it.
We've bitched about
and
this
then
a
on
lot.
top of, and then on top of it, you can only use an HD branded headset if you want full functionality and stereo sound and all that. What a pain in the ass.
Yep, I agree.
That's a major con for the Harley.
So with the ride command, everybody is, I believe, is what they call it on the Indian. It's their version of the boombox infotainment system. So what you're saying is it's pairing directly with any Bluetooth headset or certain Bluetooth headset. Explain that a little bit. With the Harley, we know you need to add on the wireless headset interface module. I've got videos on it on the YouTube channel for y'all on the install of that. But so explain this system a little bit.
Yeah, it's very similar to, remember my Victory Magnum that had the Bluetooth built in. And that was a toggle system. This is
You mean headset, because the boombox has Bluetooth built in, but it's a handset
but the headset
for the phone. Headset profile. Okay.
Yeah. The Indian does have that built into it, and it makes it rather nice. And it will work with any universal type headset, except for a Harley-Davidson branded
Of course.
Sena.
Right. But the regular Sena 20S as it will, or 30S.
My Sena
Cardo.
20S works. The Cardos have worked. My 10U has worked with it. The Harley-Davidson branded one took me 6 times. It finally did connect, and as soon as I shut the bike off, it wouldn't reconnect. So Harley's definitely done something with that to kind of keep you from going to other
Not
Bluetooth
Harley
modules.
would never do something proprietary like that. I don't know even what you're thinking. That's that's nice. That's a big plus, which is we've all said along. And even the new Boombox GTS doesn't do it. Yes, Matt, you have a question in the chat?
Yeah, we had a question come up in the chat, and I don't know it. Maybe Rick does. Joe Veris would like to know.
You're dumb.
Is that for me?
There's no dumb questions. All right. No, just
okay.
teasing.
Joe Veris would like to know who makes the Indian. He called the boombox manufacturer. I don't know what does Indian call their system.
Ride
first?
Command.
It's the Ride Command.
So who makes the Indian Ride Command?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Good question.
I do not know, but I know that the
I'm gonna
maps
Google
are.
that shit while you guys are talking.
Googly it.
Yeah, I don't know that, but I can tell you the maps are Navi Extras, just like the Harley.
Really?
And the
Oh, that sucks.
No, it looks very good.
Does
and
it
I will
work
tell
better
you,
on the? It must work better on the Indian.
Well, the
It
new
does.
GTS, it works badass.
Okay, I haven't had a chance to play with that yet.
But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
I'm going to spoil one of my pros for the Indian. The maps are free.
Yeah, you don't have to pay Navi. So Indian works something out with Navi so that their riders get updates. So you can update maps anytime for free?
Yes, they only release them when, just like with Harley. I mean, they do the software updates. The last one was October 2018.
But they're updating the actual GPS maps for
Yes.
free. Nice.
Yes. You
nice.
download it and you load it in, and they give you all the instructions right there on the deal. It was relatively simple.
Good. So that's nice because, so I updated my maps, guys. We've talked about in the past on my boombox, and Navi Extra runs them, and it was like $150 to update those. So that's nice that they've got that worked out with them. Did you find anything there, Lurch, in your googly research?
What's it called again?
Ride Command.
Ride Command.
That's what they call the radio, yeah.
I have not yet. I'm still Googling.
And I never really cared enough to research who made it, so I apologize for not having that with me. It just, I can tell you, it's really vivid colors. It does really well. The touch response, even with the gloves on, is absolutely fantastic. You can actually, on the map, you can actually enlarge and
See, the new
unlarge with your
GTS,
maps
you can
and
do
stuff.
all this, but prior versions, yes.
Well, that's why I wonder if they kind of copied, everybody talks about how Indians just trying to be Harley and copying them. But I'm sure when that ride planner came out,
Well, they wanted to make a better one.
they're like, okay, what do they got? This is pretty damn good.
But
Let's see what we can do.
Harley had the boombox before Indian had the Ride Command.
Oh, I know.
But then, so now they're playing catch up. They're both trying to beat each
The
other.
Boombox 6.5 GT to me is like comparing Mac to DOS.
Totally.
Because when you run that ride planner, it feels like you're in a modern day computer versus when you're in that.
The Ride Command, yeah.
When you're in the GT, I mean, you can, even if you wanted to, you can put your pictures up and it will scroll your pictures from your phone as you're riding along. I mean, it's a pretty cool system.
So you're looking at porn going down the road. That's safe.
No, because
That's really safe.
Jesus
Not
would
safe
not
at all.
want me to do that. And when Jesus takes my wheel, he doesn't allow porn.
Well, one of the patrons is saying he's commenting that those.
Well,
maps,
say his name.
Well, I'm looking at it here. It's
One of the patrons. They have names.
He can't
Sorry,
read it,
I'm
apparently.
gonna come over this.
Can you see it from here?
If I have a few more drinks.
Can you see it from here?
Yeah. It's Capaswin
Oh,
Rider.
Kapowson.
Maps are free for only 3 years.
I don't know. It's
Talking to your mic. There you go.
Sorry.
I told him earlier, don't turn his head.
Yeah.
Did he
He's
listen
doing-
to me?
he's doing it already.
Hell no.
He's gonna hit me. I know it.
So only 3 years. Good to know. Thank you.
I don't know that. It says on the downloads, it doesn't say anything about a year restriction, but
it's probably when you sign and buy it and shit. They say, hey, we offer maps for 3 years or something. Who knows?
Considering I've never,
Still great. It's
I've
better
never
than Harley.
updated any of my Harley maps. I'm not too worried about it. So.
Right.
I'm going to agree with this James McKinney here. He says the hell with paying for updates. Mike.
That's a microphone.
Shit.
Mike in your face.
You can look at it through your peripheral vision.
Hey,
There you go.
here we
Hey
go.
Scott, treat it like the other night. Just put it right in your face.
James McKinney, I agree. He's got the bike gripper and uses the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Dicks.
Definitely do that. If you still want to use, your phone for the for your GPS. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people have done that just out of frustration for the boombox. But I will say the new GTS, we'll hopefully get our hands on one here soon. I've already done some videos. I've had it for a short time on the channel, but I hope to get one to do an actual full review and tutorial video on it for you guys. So good. All right. So I knew that was going to be able to. So anything else about the Ride Command versus the boombox that you think? I mean,
No, I mean
we'll say the old version of the boombox. Yes.
Yeah, the old version.
minus the new GTS.
Yeah, I can't comment to that. I can just tell you I'm comparing my bikes to 2018s to each other.
Yep.
So.
Good. All right, move on with your cons, you negative bastard.
Yeah, here's one that I think everybody that we get
negative
emails
Nelly.
all the time on.
Oh, really? Okay.
Some dealers appear to be all for themselves, passing faux info about adding performance upgrades and voiding warranty. I think that's kind of a drawback to Harley-Davidson, the dealers that are doing
Expand
that.
on that a little bit for the audience.
Well, I think it's frustrating. We find that with our group here, Law Abiding Bikers, we get a lot of new riders. And these guys may have ridden in their teens or 20s, and then they raise families and they're coming back. And they're spending a lot of money on these Harley-Davidsons. And some of these dealerships are just all about themselves. What can they sell? Oh, no, you add an EFI, it's going to void your warranty. Oh, my God, if you do this, if you add pipes, you're going to do this. And we're lucky we don't have that here. But there are a lot out there.
There are.
And
Yeah,
I've never
absolutely.
experienced that with the Indian dealerships that I've
Really? Well, that's nice.
Yeah. I like it, dude.
They told me you want to add Freedom Performance pipes and you want to do this. Yeah, hell yeah, we'll do it. Ain't gonna void the warranty.
And see, that's how it was for a long time. Then they came out with the Milwaukee-eight, and that's when this whole ruckus started about some of these dealerships. Ruckus. Straight up dealerships being jerks about that kind of stuff, and that's ridiculous. So okay, so you haven't heard anything on the interwebs or anything about those kind of issues, basically.
No, and it's just like I said, I'm coming up with pros and cons comparing my two bikes and what I've experienced. Everybody in the group chat or anybody listening to this after the fact is going to have a little different experience.
Right. Let me ask you this: did you buy a warranty?
Yes,
All right. What is it? A 3-year or what?
I did a 3-year on both,
Okay.
extended warranty.
All right. Good.
The Indian one was quite a bit cheaper.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I shouldn't
Same
say
coverage,
quite
basically,
a bit, but basically the same coverage, but it wasn't as marked up as the Harley one. But the Harley one was they still gave me a good percentage off.
Okay, good. I like it. I like it a lot. You know what? With that said, we should take a really quick, and then, is that the last one on the cons of the Harleys?
No, the big.
Go ahead.
The nut punch is coming up right now.
All right, do the nut punch, dude.
So what I have noticed, this is my personal, is that we love all bikes.
Mm-hmm.
We love all bikes. But I have noticed a lot of newer Harley riders, and I'm not pointing any fingers, but I'm just going to say there are a lot of newer Harley riders that get fully vested and they're all in on the HD brand. And anything that is not them, whether it's Japanese, German, another American bike,
Yep.
it's
We
crap.
see it. We
It's
see it on our
bullshit.
YouTube
It's crap.
channel.
So,
That's great for Harley. I mean, that's what you want to, as somebody that's putting out a product, you want to get somebody that's brand loyal that just falls in love with your brand.
Yeah. And where I'm going with this is they almost become snooty and snotty. And I've noticed this.
Well, that's because they're riding
snooty.
HDs.
I've noticed this
Snooty. Oh,
when
jeez.
I ride up. The dealer will see me coming in on my Indian at the Harley, and I'll be going to pick something up. And they're like, hey, man, that's a cool bike. Because they know I have a Harley. People who don't, they get rather snotty. So I talk about how Harley kind of built themselves on being an exclusive brand. Mm-hmm. So I say, is Harley really an exclusive brand anymore? Does it make you have that feeling of owning something special, something that is not everybody has? Or has it gone from a Cadillac to a Chevy? And there's a lot of people that kind of think about this, like the way that they're kind of run things. When I bought my first Harley, I felt as though, wow, I own a Harley.
Right? Yeah.
Now it's just,
Is that because the newness wore off too, though?
Well, I've got it tattooed all over my skin.
Well, I know you don't know, but you know what I
I'm
mean? I wonder, and I'm just for conversation purposes.
I'm just saying in general.
You were one of those loyal.
I'm very loyal to Harley Davidson. And like I said in the preamps to this on the Patron site, listen in. You might be surprised what I have to say, but I will tell you, is Harley Davidson really that exclusive of a brand? Is it the Mercedes, the BMW of motorcycles anymore? Or is it just another piece of, technology that we ride to get places? It's what is it becoming in society? That it's a deeper question than just what I think. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I will tell you, when you pull up on an Indian, it is very eye-grabbing, very attention. People are coming up and asking you what it is.
Because they don't see them all the time.
Is that the new Indian?
They go, what kind of model Harley is that?
Oh, geez.
I've never had that.
What kind of Harley is that?
Oh, my God. Is that a new Harley? Yeah. Oh, come on. And then we're having fun here. And that's
I
fun
did
as
have
shit
one guy
right
say
there.
that, and he says it's about time they started making a good-looking bike instead of those old antique-looking bikes.
Did he come up and say, why didn't you buy a Harley? No, we get that. We get a lot on our YouTube channel. Speaking of the recent video I put out of our Indian, because we're putting out Indian stuff on our channel too. Again, we support all bikes here, guys. This is why this is just a biker conversation. But we put out the exhaust install that we did on Big Daddy's bike here. And some of the comments you'll go through and everybody's having a great conversation. Thanks. And, oh, that's cool. And, and then somebody should have bought a Harley. Just like that has nothing to do with the video. It's an exhaust install, but we just delete those comments and we're just like, that's not really part of the conversation, but I get what you're talking about. There are a lot of those. And, but I'm sure on the same token to get, we can go down a rabbit hole with that conversation, but I guarantee with everything, you've got your probably Indian people that are the same. You've got, people on all, depending on what motorcycle or device, the Chevy, Ford, all that kind of stuff. So I think we're always going to have some of that to a certain extent. But with that said, I think it's time to do this real quick. Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? 03D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Goldwing motorcycles. 03D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, other comfort products, no modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation that equals less time installing, more time riding. 03D has a design team with over 40 years experience, Scott, with a passion for design and innovation. CAN bus made simple with plug-and-play lighting systems, Scott. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question, Scott? Get in touch with them. Sales@03d.com. Call them, Scott, at 715-808-0027. Better yet, Scott, check out your local Harley or Honda dealership. Ask for 03 or Gold Strike parts. But I know, Scott, you know what? A new leader has emerged. So check out 03D's custom line of Gold Strike products for Honda Goldwings. Scott, best yet. Help support us right here. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of 03D products and have that guy right there next to you, Big Daddy Kane, ship you your brand new, exciting order. Whatever 03D product you've ordered, you're just waiting at your doorstep.
I just got
for Big Daddy to show up because he'll deliver it to your house.
No, he can walk right over to the warehouse.
Well, I got to slow down. I mean, I just got hooked up on the YouTube thing, so.
Right, yeah. Scott, by the way.
I'm going to bag on myself before you guys do
the only guy with a smartphone that didn't have the YouTube app tonight. Or like, how do you not have the YouTube app?
He
like
says when he watches his porn, he'd rather watch it on his iPad than his iPhone.
But do you have the YouTube app on your iPad?
Why not?
Well, do you have it?
Yeah,
Because you didn't have. Okay,
it's
so
bigger.
you have.
It's
right.
bigger.
He doesn't even know, dude. We're just like, who doesn't? How do you watch YouTube videos, dude? Like, I guess you can watch them on the web browser, but it sucks watching them that way. All right. So, anyways, we're getting Scott up to
forgot to
speed.
mention something on those Ciro. If you buy it from a Law Abiding Biker store, not only just Ciro parts, but all the parts we sell. What comes in that box? We give them out for free. Big Daddy puts one of these in every box free.
Well, I try to.
It's not his
Sometimes I
wiener.
forget.
It's not his wiener. He will not touch anything
It's a
in your
naked.
box with
It's
his
a naked
wiener.
picture of Ryan
It's a good time.
on a
You
bear
open up-
rug.
You open up the box and poof, good time comes right out of it. One good time per box.
Well said, Lurch. Well said. And Big Daddy's all about putting good times in the box.
And pictures of Ryan. And
And-
why he has them, I don't know.
It's a dick in the box.
All right. Let's. Where do we leave off there at the cons?
So we can go to the Indian Pros.
Okay, let me scroll up. There we are. So we've kind of said, and we'll get a little bit deeper into some of this. I have some notes and maybe some questions that I want to bring up. But so Indian Pros, why don't you roll with this?
Okay, so one of the things that's happened in the chat room in the last few days, people talk about, well, the Indian looks like it's plastic and this and that. I can tell you after working on both, there's just as much plastic all the way across. So my view is I really like the quality of the bike. It's tight. It has nice touches. It offers a traditional styling with the new limited editions. I don't like the original Indian fenders that were kind of covering the wheels and stuff. The new limited edition has the larger wheel with it, and the fender is based on a later model of the Indian. I like that they're spending money on development and they're trying to gain market share, and they are. So I like that. I like that it's innovative and going there. And as a company, we're innovative. We're bootstrapped. We're using all of our funds that we can to become the best and the best of new technology and stuff.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, dude. All right. Next.
Technology. Radio and GPS is great. Bluetooth built in. Just add the comm device. That's it. And I like that the Navi Extras are free. Come on, HD, get with it.
Have you had any, and I'll just say this, because you've used that system, it seems like every system that has Bluetooth at some point unpairs or fails. Even, headsets, not just with that, but with phones and stuff. Have you had any issues with that?
No, I put 2,500 miles on it since I bought it.
What are you running? What headset right now?
I'm running the Sena 20S Evo.
Non-Harley standard.
And I haven't had any issues with that or the phone. With the Harley, I do have disconnects at times, but I haven't had anything with that.
Nice.
I like that there's a charger in the saddlebag for electronics. It's nice.
That should just come standard Harley already. I agree, dude.
Yeah, you just put your phone, or you can charge your headset,
your camera,
right in your saddlebag.
Your camera, your GoPro's just a freaking, that's nice, dude. Stock, huh?
Yeah.
Is that just on the limited or?
No, I think it's on all. John's has it too.
Oh, wow. Okay. And his isn't a limited. His is just a.
His is the original year, the standard. They didn't have the limiteds then.
That's right.
They have like the 16-inch wheel versus mine is a 19-inch wheel or something like that.
Okay. Nice.
I like that it's well balanced. It's nimble. To me, it's a great style, to each their own. I like the solid one-colored fairing versus the chrome accent versions. Like John's has a chrome accent version. I think it looks nice, but I like on the limiteds how they came out and they did, the inner fairing is painted the same color as the tank. The outer fairing is, they don't have any of those chrome accents anymore on the front.
Okay, nice. And that's one thing that I want to mention. You ask a lot of people, and I know some of you out there, when it comes down to it, I think a lot of people don't necessarily think that the Indian's a bad bike. At the end of the day, a lot of it, from what I hear from people, is it's strictly a looks thing. You either like the look of the Indian or you like the look of the Harley. A lot of people may think that the Indian's a great running bike. It's got a great motor. It's a solid bike, but I just don't like that style. And that's great because it is a different style than Harley. And that needs to be out there, for people to have that. A lot of people, like my wife, I'll tell you right now, she doesn't ride per se, but she sees a lot of bikes coming in and out of here. She knows nothing about motorcycles, not a fucking thing. But she loves when John or you ride here with an Indian. I don't know if you've been here on your Indian, but John.
Yeah, we did the filming.
Okay, yeah, that's right. She absolutely doesn't know shit about bikes, but she loves the look of that Indian. She goes, it is just so gorgeous and so cool looking. And I, on the other hand, have nothing against the Indian. I still like it. I like the Harley look a little better, but I would still have an Indian if I could. But I prefer the Harley look. So I think a lot of it times for people out there, it comes down to that. So
personality.
Absolutely. And it's an extension of your bike. And so looks does have a big play on on what a lot of people get. So good. All right. Lurch.
They're a pretty good version of the Street Glide. Victory. The Victory has the same thing. Victory's got a really good version of the Street Glide too.
I would say
but I'll be in all fairness to Rick.
The gloves
and Indian in general.
Are coming off.
I'm a bit of an HD snob, and really for no real reason. I'm not saying that it's a better bike than the Indian. I haven't had any time with them. For me, it's just like I said, the Harley's been really good at creating a brand and getting loyal customers, and I just love Harley, love the sound of it, and I know you're a Harley fan too, so it's not about that. It's just
no, it's good conversation.
I've been hooked. I've been hooked in Harleys for way too long, and while I look at and I appreciate the look of an Indian, and I appreciate the look of a a victory. To me, it's a version of the Street Glide, and so I just rather have the Street Glide. That's just me. And again, I'm not saying one's any better than the other. I just prefer the Harley, and it's not maybe just for the look or the function or which one has more horsepower or has a better infotainment center. I'm an HD guy, so it would be really hard for me to change, and it's not, and it has again nothing to do with technology. It has to do with that I'm just all bought into Harley at this point.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
and
insight.
it's a good comment because I think my version of the Chieftain, which is the 18 and older ones, I could see where there's the comparativity that they're basically trying to copy the Street Glide, and I'll be honest with that crossed my mind when I first saw John's, and then the Limiteds came out and they kind of grew on me. But I will tell you, the new 19 Indian Chieftains look just like a Street Glide. And maybe I talk about that in the con, talking about their styling, that maybe it's because they went to a vent system to help with buffering, which I think is crazy because I get hardly any buffering with mine. My windshield goes up and down electronically, so I can adjust the height and everything to it. I've never had any problem with that, but I can see that. And the diehard Harley guys are going to be like, yeah, he just wants to be a Harley. End of story.
Right. We get those guys for sure.
But here's the deal.
Ross Tomes.
That's called
said
loyalty.
BDK had to smile on that one when you made your crack. You had
But
to
here's
smile.
the deal. These guys, they have to understand that I'm not anti-Harley. I've owned more Harleys than most of them will probably own in their life.
Exactly.
So I have it tattooed across my clavicle, Harley-Davidson in big words.
Will you show us the one tattooed on the small of your back?
Oh, God,
The one on the-
Show the audience. Bend over.
No.
Show the audience. He's got little flowers on there too.
It's a butterfly.
He's got 2 tattooed handprints right on his waist. Right on. No.
No, Mister. No. So I am very pro Harley Davidson, but I am very impressed with this bike. But back to it, the paint.
Wait, before you do that, I want to talk about that. Scott,
What?
you're not talking.
I'm trying.
I'm pointing at you because I got a damn question for you.
Go ahead.
When you went, before this, you had a wide glide.
Nope.
Softail.
Nope. Yeah, Softail.
Softail.
Night Train.
Night
05
Train.
Night Train.
With apes. And Scott bought a new bike a couple years ago.
No, just last May.
Last May. Do you like it when I point at you? Does it make you nervous?
No, I'm
If I
good.
keep my hand pointing at you, are you going to get offended?
No, I'm just waiting for Lurch to hit me if I turn my head.
All right. Okay. Yeah, do not turn.
I'm trying not to.
Why
Why what?
did you not? When you went to buy a new touring bike, why did you not buy an Indian?
Did you just do that?
I did.
Oh, he just smacked his lips, and we got
Here it
the
comes.
editor, producer
Here it
over here.
So here's the thing about it. That has to stay in that one in particular because we made a big deal about it. So now I got to remember, don't take it out when you're editing.
Yep.
You know, when I look back, I mean, because I
Tell him
I rode sport bikes.
what you think of Indians. I mean,
I don't know enough about them besides
That's a
seeing them out
cop
there.
out.
That's fair.
But
Anyways, go
that's
ahead.
honest. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's fair.
you know, coming from the street bikes, the sport bikes, it was just Harley. If you didn't ride that, you rode a Harley.
right.
Just don't know that much.
So you never
about
even
Indian.
crossed your mind to buy an Indian.
Nope.
Okay. Good to know. That's not a very
That's simple for me.
argumentative answer that I was looking for.
Well, if he wasn't married, he would ride an Indian.
I want to see
but
you
she
fight
would,
to fight before we leave here, and that's bullshit. That was a cop out, dude.
Oh, I love Big Daddy.
We should have brought a fairing full of bugs and did a live licking of the fairing.
No, if he ever does that again, he needs a kick in the pants.
Dude,
why?
That's why I love people like him in my documentary films. They tell a story themselves. I don't need any. I don't have to script anything. I love
Hey,
it.
and in his defense, not that I come to my Red Mountain VP's defense too much, but when you finish all 72 ounces of a steak, but like 11 or 13 ounces, that's pretty machismo.
He's a badass.
Well, I was trying to figure out because when I watched that video, there was a point when I had no clue you were behind me going into the bathroom, and I couldn't tell if that was a real or an added sound that you added.
The
in there.
vomit?
Yeah,
You were vomiting, but I couldn't pick it up good enough the microphone,
Okay.
so I added a little bit of
Had me.
to help with the film.
I thought it was real.
But you did vomit.
Oh yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
So
It just when I played
You know-
it back, it wasn't loud enough.
Yeah. So as far as the
Got to tell the
Indian
story.
Harley thing, you know, I just wanted the Harley. That's all
Yeah.
I knew, really. So
Yeah, that's a fair answer.
Simplicity.
All jokes aside, that's a fair answer. Good.
So I love the paint on my Indian. It's probably the most beautiful paint job I've ever seen on
Is
a
it
bike.
a special, better Indian paint or?
No, for that year,
manufacturer?
it was only on the limiteds, But for this year on,
You're the color you're talking about.
yeah, the color for
Which
this
color did
year
you
on,
get?
I got the blue.
Okay.
Pink.
It's like a blue,
Unicorn
and then when the
pink.
sun hits it, it kind of turns like a pearl.
It is beautiful.
Different colors.
It is beautiful.
And
In fact, I can pull up while you're. Let's do this. I'm going to pull this up, Lurch, and I think a
I
thumbnail.
will tell you that color is kind of what chose me, because I was thinking about buying a bar hopper, and I was like, God, that paint's. And now they don't offer it in the regular limit. You have to pay extra for it.
For that, for that color,
For that blue, yeah.
yeah, they've got the upgrades.
And I like the chrome. The chrome is flawless. There's some really good positives as far as the paint and the chrome and such. Oh, there it is.
This is a bike. That's the thumbnail for the exhaust video.
Yeah, that's a really nice color.
It's pretty, isn't it?
And see, I like how this front end doesn't look like a Harley.
I'm glad they didn't just completely copy. They copied it enough.
But in
At least they changed the
2019,
fairing.
Is that a Nike or an Adidas?
well, the bags don't even look the same, dude.
No, I'm glad.
The bags, nothing about that bike looks like a Harley.
Well, it looks. I mean, it looks similar to a street glide in an Indian way.
Yeah, and I get, but as
What else?
To
can
me,
you
they
do? It's
don't-
a batwing fairing.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's a
I mean,
batwing
Honda
fairing.
did it too. Honda does it too.
Yamaha's
Yeah.
batwing fairing. I mean,
They all got it from Harley. They invented the batwing.
but
fairing.
this new model, which I know
as far as I'm
that
aware,
as far as I'm aware,
this new model that just came out this year that Lurch has been looking at, I'm not very impressed with the new design.
yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was looking at. It does look a lot more like a Harley because it has the vent and everything. What year's
the
yours
new
there?
Indian, his is
That's
18.
an 18.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at 19s.
19s.
And
Okay.
see how mine
Pull up a
has
19.
mine has the color matched where John's has the chrome there.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that they did that color match on these limiteds.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like his chrome, but I like, and it's the little touches. Look at the front forks; they're chromed instead
Mm-hmm.
of that. When they do it, they do it right. They the fork legs, the lower fork legs are chromed out.
Whereas the Harley's like a brush satin or like a nickel satin.
they want to charge you $600 for a new set of
Bob Dawson
lowers.
asked, "Hey Rick, did you get your chrome fixed on the Indian?"
What are you talking about?
Bob Dawson, I'm not reading the question. Rick, did you get the chrome fixed on the Indian? Question mark.
Oh, he's talking.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, I showed him. See the strip behind the saddlebag?
Oh, you did tell me about that when we were doing your exhaust.
We're doing the exhaust. They had a
Yeah.
manufacturer produce those, and apparently this chrome.
So Indian has recalls
Paint.
too.
They haven't recalled
Okay,
it.
but
The
they-
dealers getting me new strips for that. They've changed manufacturers.
That's right. You were
It's
telling
like
me.
anything. I mean, I'm not saying
Exactly.
Indian doesn't have.
We're just doing it because we're trying to rile people. We
Yeah.
have nothing, dude.
Yeah,
I did a clickbait
it's
title, and
interesting.
I need to spice this up.
Pull up a 2019 and take a look at it.
I do that. All right. What do you get? Tell me before I pull it up. What's your comment? Just say it. Looks
Like a Harley.
See.
And I completely agree. And I would never buy a 2019
But
Indian.
hey, just like with cars, I mean, jeez.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's pull it up. So we got neck
Somebody's
bubbles.
neck just blew a
That's
bubble.
Rick's because it doesn't have a gate.
I don't have a gate.
He doesn't have a. He's not on the limiter gate
Now
tonight.
that bike right there is badass.
So the Indian Chieftain Limited. Let's pull it up. They did change that a lot, didn't they? Is this the one you guys are talking about?
Yeah, that's one
Yeah,
I've been looking
that's
at pictures of, and that looks a lot more like the
They
Street
didn't do
Glide.
as round as saddlebags, did they? They
no.
squared it out a
A
bit.
little bit more like the
Squared it
Street
out.
Glide. Yep.
Yep.
Look at the
And
fairing.
look at the front fairing.
Yeah,
A
totally.
lot more like the Street Glide.
Follow the leader. He's
I wonder
on
if
a Harley.
but it looks like the windshield still goes up and down though. That's a pretty cool feature.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah. It's
Because
nice.
I've ridden bikes with them for a very short time on our motors unit. We tried those Hondas for a year. We got Harleys now, but it had it. I wasn't sure what the fuck to use it for.
Style more than anything. You can lower it down. Just,
I guess.
the bike looks better with the
Okay.
shorter fairing.
I'm not against it. I could never find the
Then you hit
use
the
of
open
it.
road, then you crank it up.
Or what about on our summer ride when it's 103 and you just want a little bit more
Christ.
wind, so you
Lower it
lower it down 2-3 inches?
I guess and feel the 110-degree heat in your face.
Hey, wind is wind. When it's 100,
I get it. A lot of people talk big about it, and I'm always asking them. I'm like, "What is it actually?"
Hey.
I'm not
Hey,
against it. I'm
wind
not
is
against
wind.
it. All right. There you
Wind
go.
is wind.
Wind is wind.
Just remember that.
We'll just on that.
Remember that when
bomb-
you're sleeping with me on the air mattress later.
on that bombshell. Wind is wind. We're out of here. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining us.
Okay,
All right, move
back to
along,
it.
for God's
The
sakes.
Power Stroke 111.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to get into the difference between the motors.
Man, I'm gonna
trannies,
tell ya.
whatnot.
We've heard you got a power stroke.
Oh fuck, I stroke it good. The Power Stroke
it,
111.
Stroke it. Stroke.
Yeah.
Stroke.
Power Stroke 111, it has a ton of torque. It actually feels like it has more than the Harley off the get-go. Great motor. The shifting is fantastic. Unlike my Victory. Remember, my biggest complaint with the Victory was the shifting was crap. And this one shifts really really good in high gears. I will tell you that both of my bikes have damn near the same upgrades: air, fuel, and exhaust. In fact, the Indian has the true duals, so my Harley doesn't. I will tell you, if I was going to go out and have to race somebody, I would ride my Harley. My Harley's just a little bit quicker. John Patton can give his view because he has a Harley and an Indian too, but he's also got the Stage 2 cam upgrade in his, and he says his is a screamer. But that's just my take. It seems like the upper end is better in the Harley. That's just my take.
Yeah, I like it.
And you're comparing what, the 107 to the 111 or the 114 to the 111?
No, 108 to the 111.
Okay.
Nope, wrong song.
So, and here's my nut punch, just like on the Harley, the Pro. It gets looks. When I ride it, anywhere I ride it, people are coming up, hey, is that the new Indian? Man, people are excited to see something other than
it's different.
What everybody else has.
Sure.
So is the new, like I joked about, the Harley had exclusivity and it was a Cadillac and now it's a Chevy. And I'm not saying that's actually true. I'm just giving
He just said that's true, everybody.
I'm
Put your
giving
comments
a
in there.
version.
People thought the Pinto was kind of cool too.
But the Indian does have exclusivity. It has it. And I guess it's a matter of opinion. I always take it to where it's taking the roads less followed ideology.
Right.
When I ride my Indian and an Indian guy looks at me and doesn't wave at me, I think, you're a fucking dickhead. Because you know what? I have a fucking Harley. And you're still going to be a dickhead and not wave to me?
Right.
Okay,
they
dickhead.
really don't wave to you?
Sometimes.
That's messed up, dude.
That's what I think is funny. Because I'm like, do you realize I ride a fucking Harley, asswipe?
Right.
Like, I'll pull up to the Harley dealership and people will be like, I'll say, hey, how you doing? They're like, they walk away. They don't want to talk to you. I'm like, and then all of a sudden Dusty will come up to me. Dusty will come up to me and be like, hey, how's the Road Glide going? And all of a sudden they're like, oh, hey, that's a nice Indian. Fucking douchebags.
Darn Harley snobs.
Now the gloves are coming off. We're getting our whiskey's almost finished now. We're going to get naked.
No, it's just that I never acted like that as a Harley owner.
No, I don't.
I don't get it. Like,
I wave
people
at
are
sports
like,
bikes. I don't care. I wave at everybody. Dude.
And there's that. So I kind of
Do
laugh.
you wave at the guys driving the Jeeps?
Which Jeeps?
The Jeeps, they all wave, right?
The Jeep wave.
I didn't know Jeeps had a wave.
They do.
The Jeeps have a wave.
Jeep, when you buy a
Jeepers
Jeep, it's
have a
even
wave.
in
Really?
the welcome
Oh, yeah.
to Jeep. Do the Jeep wave.
I did not know.
What's a Jeep
had
wave
a wave
look like?
I just went like this.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, I have a Wrangler.
You do this, both hands off the bar. Hi. That's awesome, dude. I did not know Jeep had a wave.
All right. So
That was a funny comment about the Pinto, by the way.
So last few things, and then we'll do some other things. Smooth transmission shifts. They're
This
not
is the Pro
clunky.
still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Easy oil
So it doesn't
changes.
make a big old clunk noise like our Harleys do?
No,
Nice
it's
and
just
quiet.
like butter.
I like hearing that,
Easy
dude. I
oil
like
changes.
mechanical. All right, sorry.
Easy oil changes
True. We've done a maintenance video on the Indian if you guys want to get it.
Why easy? Explain that a
what
little
makes
bit.
it easy?
because it's one fluid.
It's one hole.
Drop it.
Okay.
You drop them, and then you fill them back up.
You drop all holes out of one plug. It's got a what's the one plug? We did a maintenance video on this.
Is it
It's
truly
the oil
one
drain plug.
But is
Right.
it truly one fluid for everything, or
Yes.
it just drains out the
No,
one?
you just fill it up and it fills
Yeah.
all three holes.
It's, it's one. It's almost like the imports.
Right, and it's one hole to drain it
Okay,
all.
so
It
what
is
I'm-
very
so
cool.
Let me just ask this and make sure, because the listening audience may want to know: is it just one nut you take off that several, like your primary and your engine and your tranny all dump out of, or is it seriously like one fluid runs through the engine, the primary, and the transmission all?
It's all
All
one
once.
unit.
Wow! So it's truly one hole.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
one drain plug.
One drain
It's
plug.
badass. And if you guys want to, we do have that. It's a very popular video, complete oil change, maintenance, everything that the dealership does on your 5,000 services and all that, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/buy videos. All of our for purchase videos over there, and that one's very, very popular. Just like our Harley maintenance videos, we did a Indian one. So, yeah, it is a lot simpler.
Interesting.
And I can't think of the word. I was thinking there's another plug, but it does. Anyways, it's in the video. It's just been a while since
Butt
we
plug?
worked on this.
I was thinking the same thing.
It may be.
You took a little too long to say it.
The intake's too close to the exhaust. That's right.
I love that.
That was the funniest line in that joke up front.
I just don't know why Disneyland's next to a garbage dump. It's hard to figure out.
Nice.
And
All right,
the
Ricky.
last thing is the electronic saddlebag lock and unlock.
That's cool.
That I can just go up to it and hit it with the remote and it unlocks it or locks it. So I like that.
I've seen
that's
that on
kinda cool.
Yeah, I've seen that on John's bike. That's pretty neat.
Till the battery goes dead.
Oh, see, always a con to
It's
something.
just
That's like that- that's
like
like on
your
the
Harley.
new-
You're supposed to change them at the daylight savings time
It's like these
or
the GMC newfangled tailgates.
the automatic or something.
Well, it's like 3 pieces now.
Yeah, they've got some fancy ass tailgate that you can.
Yeah, and the more you do, there's always that argument. The more problems
I
you
like
can have.
simplicity.
I actually like,
Simplicity.
yeah. You put too much stuff on them, electronics and stuff. Yeah. So is that all the pros, or what else do you
yeah.
want to say?
So
Rick?
then we can just go into the cons and then
Okay.
we'll just open it up. Oh, you went way past.
Yeah,
the
I know
cons.
I did on purpose there, bro.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
We got to take care of some business. Why don't you take care of this?
Rick Rack. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? You sure are, baby. Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords, girl. Those come loose and slap your pants.
Slap your pay.
Check out the Rick Rack's awesome quick attached strap luggage rack systems. The father and son design. Father and son team design, really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, and these guys ride. So they truly understand the needs of our bikers. The Rick Rack Quick Rack attached system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. What else? Also, check out the full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. You must buy these from lawabidingbiker.com/store. Once you use your Rick Rack, you'll never go back.
Rick Rack.
You waiting for bikeaholics? Head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags, all ready to ship.
And in fact, right here while we were filming all day in the studio where we were filming some really cool stuff, I just finished editing 2 weekends ago. We filmed a Rick Rack update video and install. They've made some improvements to their products, and we are stocking those. And in fact, Rick right here, Big Daddy, ordered some more today in between all the other stuff we were doing. So he ordered up some new versions of the Rick Rack. So, all right, good to go. So let's dive right into the cons of the Indian. And I know this was hard for you. I know this. I'm just teasing. Dude,
No, it was
But
actually pretty
He's
easy.
very honest. Rick wrote all these pros and cons, and I was really happy.
He's
that
got
he did
several
that.
bullets for each, so that means he's
He does.
really thought about it.
He did. He's not. No, he's not one side in this thing. So, anybody in the comments there, as you strick through, saying any, talking any schmack that we can fire Rick up with?
Just that. So you're saying it's easier to deal with just one hole than 3?
Oh God, yeah. Is one hole less expensive than 3?
I'm a God-fearing man. You're only supposed to use the one that Jesus provided for
Right,
that,
well,
for creation.
Sometimes it's an accident. The exhaust is too close to the intake, and sometimes it slips, and it's an accident.
And you find yourself in a garbage dump.
You're right. You find yourself. I was just in Disneyland, and I'm in a garbage dump here. I don't know.
He drives a Pinto too.
I'll go through these pretty quick. Obviously, I talked about it. Con small saddlebag. The design is an illusion. It looks very big from the outside, but it's actually not. Small gas tank. Riding with 6-gallon HDs, you should probably pack a gallon of fuel. And me and Ryan talked about this when we were doing the deal. I actually have a 1-gallon extra thing of fuel that I keep in the saddlebag. Not normally, but it's going to be for like our big rides, so that I always have a
You
little.
taking
extra
the
gas.
Indian on this year?
Yes, I
We're
am.
doing the North Rim.
I'm doing it on purpose.
Nice, dude. I'm glad.
I want to see what it can do on long term. I mean, I've put 2,500 miles on it.
You gonna let me ride that thing eventually?
Yeah.
Really?
You can come ride it as soon as there's no snow.
All right. I'd love to take the GoPro out and do a little ride and review. Yeah.
You know, last year we did that big ride, 5,600 miles, and I did that
Midwest
all on the
trip.
Road Glide. So I want to see the difference. Fairing, I talked about it, more in my face than my Road Glide. Accessories are expensive.
Mark Arnold says Indian is 5.5 gallons, so
Yeah.
it's a half gallon shy of the Harley. So good info. Yeah, sorry, Rick.
Great local dealer, but a smaller network than Harley's. And then here's my big one. Haters, what's up, HD riders? Why you hating? What happened to riding is riding. Seems like more from newer HD riders, but resentment is obvious with some. More vocal than with Indian versus Japanese and German imports. When advised, I have both. Some of them look at you like a traitor, and some others are like, oh, shit. I'm gonna
Bisexual.
back off, fool. I got to put my foot in my mouth. So it's just true. It's funny. I mean,
Is there a 1 gallon tank that fits the Indian saddlebag? You know how the Harley makes the ones?
Yeah.
They make one. It's a question in here, Charles Wilburn.
I bought one that's actually for Harleys, and it actually fits pretty decent.
Yeah.
So, and lastly, the Indian this is a con for me. The Indian 19 model fairings, they look too much like an HD Street Glide. I think they fucked up on that.
Yep. Good.
Maybe it's because of the vent, and that's how they had to create it. But I think they should have stuck with looking non-Harley.
I agree. I like yours better
I
than
do
that
too.
one.
I do too.
If you're gonna be Indian and you're gonna keep the Indian look, be Indian.
If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And so I mean, my overview is they're both great bikes. They both have a specific purpose for me. For longer distances, I like the Road Glide. Cruising around town or up here, I absolutely love riding that Indian, especially the suspension. The suspension is so much more comfortable than the Road Glide. But at the end of the day, I love them both, and I just tell people, if you're not sure what you want yet, go ride them both and then make your choice. For me, other than this ride that I'm going to do with the Indian for our ride, if I was taking a long distance ride, I'd be riding my Road Glide Special. That's my bike to eat in the miles.
Right.
Because it's so comfortable. But I will tell you, it doesn't ride as smooth as my Indian.
We're gonna have you back on the podcast after you take the North Rim trip this year and talk about the Indian long.
Yeah, and
this is so good.
You're a big dude. You mentioned earlier in the podcast that the Road Glide, and I'm tall
He's
as
not
well.
named Big Daddy for no reason.
That's
We didn't
true.
call him Little Daddy.
Or just Daddy.
Or just Daddy.
Because that'd be weird.
Daddy?
He doesn't.
Daddy's here.
He don't fit well in Pintos.
Daddy?
Yeah, but I would tell you that Chieftain rides smoother. The suspension's better. I think it's more balanced than my Road Glide. It just seems like I can cut a little bit more. Maybe it's just because I feel comfortable with it.
Right. Yeah.
But I will tell you, on a long distance ride, other than the fact I'm purposely taking this Indian on this, I would be riding my Road Glide because it is so big and comfortable, and I'm 6'3", and the saddlebag's a little bit bigger and it has a little bit bigger gas tank. So the Indian's going to be a trial and error. I'm going to try it. Plus, I have prepaid maintenance for like 3 years that they threw in. So
Throw them miles on it. Throw them miles on it.
What if you were comparing the Street Glide to the Indian?
You know, my experience is not with the Street Glide. It was the Ultra. And the Ultra, it's close enough.
Yeah.
I will tell you the ride of the Indian's better. I think the steering is better. But again, I already talked to you about the quickness of acceleration and the top end. I felt the Harley was better. And I also think there's little things that the Harley does that I like a little bit more, like the gauges. I actually like the Harley gauges better than the Indian gauge because their printout is like little LED dashes for your miles and stuff. You're sitting here portraying something that looks very modern, and then you have these crappy ass little old style LED.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
makes sense. Hey,
just little things.
So I don't know who this is, and you don't have to. Whoever's in the private chat, a lot of the real names, but it's fine either way if you get a chance. Because I like to say your real name because you're a patron. I don't know who Kapausen Rider is. I don't know which patron that is. But anyways, he says, Big Daddy, if you bought one of those Indian ones that fit in the saddlebag, if you did, where did you get it?
I got it.
He was
from,
looking for one today.
I got it from RevZilla.
Okay.
And like I said, it's angled. It's angled to fit like the back of the Harley, but it actually fits in there decent. It's not a perfect mold to it, but it fits well enough you can get away with it.
Yeah, you've seen the one that Rob has, right?
David
That fits in the back of the saddlebag. Back in the it's
No, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Indian has one, yeah.
Oh.
I just didn't know they had their model. David Short says the gauges suck. Yeah, he does. And I just added our affiliate link. If you're going to go to RevZilla, they're Kapausen Rider. Please hit that affiliate link, lawabidingbiker.com/RevZilla. If you do end up purchasing one, we'll get a small kickback. No additional cost to you. So I just threw it in there for you. Anthony Peter says, damn, Scooter, did you put enough ice in those drinks? Apparently they saw him in the background there filling up his whiskey with
well, you
Jameson.
can hear it too
Two
because
ice
we got
cubes.
the
Quit
fourth
ruining the
mic.
whiskey. Oh, you're getting called
come
out.
on.
Called out the first time by patrons, dude. Anthony Peters calling Scooter out.
It's all right. I'm drinking. He ain't.
Oh, well, he may be. How do you
How
know?
do you know?
Most of these guys are. having a beverage of their choice while they're listening to this. So
Here's a good question. David Schwartz, one of our
From
brothers
Israel.
from Israel, says
he's
how's
coming to the ride this year, dude. He's
Yeah.
gonna go to he's gonna meet Patron Day North Rim. He's gonna be there.
That's
it's gonna be
be
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
He asked, "How's the stock seat?" I assume on the Indian. I will tell you, the stock seat on the Indian
that was one of my questions.
is almost like a upgraded performance seat compared to the stock seat on the Harley.
Nice. So
It really is.
should you get another one, do guys, or do they just stay with that? Because
John's been running his stock, and I'm going to tell you, I mean, that stock Indian seat is really comfortable and it's leather, and but then again, you pay the Indian tax to get the rider backrest. I mean, it's
Right.
expensive stuff, but like the stock Road Glide Special and Street Glide seat, it sucks.
yeah. Oh, they do. That's why
They
we all
suck.
change them immediately.
And that's why I have a
If you're gonna
LaPera
tour.
That's why I have a LaPera seat on there now. But that Indian seat, I don't see any reason to ever change it. It actually is very comfortable. The downside on that seat that I don't like though is that the rider backrest does not sit up as high as the Harley Davidson in comparison. So the Indian one, it's smaller and it kind of pushes you more forward. And that's that feeling that I was telling Lurch about, that I feel like the dash is always in my face.
Yep.
Because their rider backrest system kind of pushes me forward.
Gotcha.
So
So you got one of each. Are you going to stay neutral or are you going to pick one?
Talking to
I
my-
did.
There you
Sorry.
go. You see, you're looking at him. Mm-hmm. Like this.
Go ahead and repeat it.
Are you going to stay neutral or are you going to pick one?
I already did.
He's got both.
I've got both.
So yeah, exactly.
And
He doesn't have to.
for long distance, I mean, if I'm really trucking, I mean, we'll see after this ride, but I have to say the Road
That'll
Glide.
be interesting.
If you had
The Road Glide.
if you had to get rid of one, because basically they're very similar. Hold on. No, I'm going to give you more. I'm going to give you more to it, okay, to help you make the decision a little bit. I'm not just say you got to get rid of one. I'm going to give you a scenario. So you've basically got two touring bikes right now, right? And you got the Road
Well,
Glide.
I consider
Hold on.
Chieftain around town
Hey,
kind
hey,
of a...
hey, stop. Don't try to change what I'm asking.
God, you're fucking dumb. You're
They're very
dumb.
similar bikes, right? I mean, they're touring bikes. If you had to get rid of one so that you could have a true in-town bike, some type of bar hopper, and then have the bagger, which bike would you keep as the bagger?
Okay, I'm going to ask you one question.
Yes.
You've already
Is
been
the
asked a question.
majority...
You can't answer
no,
questions with
because
questions.
is the majority... You say bar hopper and long distance. What is my percentage of most of the riding that I'll be doing on it?
Long distance.
50-50.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, Jesus. Nice one. Nicely played, bro.
If you had to have a bagger and a bar hopper, which one would you keep as the bagger?
Nicely played, Lurch.
HD for life, bros. HD for life.
All right.
Nice. Nicely done. So let's bring up if there's any
I'll tell
other-
you what.
No, go
I
ahead.
thought you would say the opposite, because when there's so many cool HDs that you can have as a bar hopper, and I don't know that there's a whole lot of Indian bar hoppers. Are they not like true stuff that you can, chop down and get funky with?
They're
and
starting
make it cool?
to, but they're kind of behind the curveball on a little some of
Yeah,
that
it
stuff.
seems like you
know?
could have the Indian as your touring bike, and then you can get a really cool HD for a bar hopper. That's what I thought you'd say.
No, I love my Road Glide, and that's
Yeah,
why
it's hard to
that's
beat
what
it.
that's
Hard to
why
beat
I
it.
teased in the deal, like, Indian, and you might be surprised. And at the end of the day, I love my Chieftain, and I will not be getting rid of it. But if I had to choose right now, I could not get rid of my Road Glide. I really enjoy that Road Glide. It's probably the best. I know you'll argue with me about it because you like the Street Glide.
I
but
like both.
I will
just-
tell you
for
the
a tall
Road
guy, I would get a Road Glide.
the
if I was a
Road
tall guy.
Glide to me
Yeah.
is the best Harley Davidson model I've ever owned, and I've owned every single one of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just-
fits
it's-
you the best.
And
What's that?
I said it fits him the best.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying for me. I
Absolutely.
mean, it's,
They're
but
great
that
bikes.
Indian is
No, I
a
mean-
great bike. I just wish Harley would get up to speed and have better suspension. The technology shit I don't care about. It's the little stuff like the suspension.
Right.
And why don't you have, lockable or unlockable with the key fob, little tiny touch upgrades that you could
Right.
do, but you
Right.
choose not to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. It's been a big complaint for a long time of
Do they
Harley.
have to?
Well, no, they don't. That's why they don't. You know what I mean?
I mean, how many times, Rick, did you and I, when I was looking to get rid of the Softail between the Road King and the Street Glide?
Your turn, Mike.
Give me a stick. I'm going to start
Jesus.
smacking
I
you.
told you we told him he was going to fuck this up.
You
We
don't
told
have-
him many times.
You don't even have to look at him. He'll hear you.
He will. Yeah.
It's like, hey, if we're on a stick getting ready to enter a room, do we have to look at each other? I can still hear you whispering in my ear.
But
ask your question again. Talking on
how
the mic.
many times? I mean, I asked. I was trying to. Yeah, I'm talking with my hands. Too. Fuck.
I don't know what to do with my
All right,
hands.
never mind. Fuck you. I'll put more ice in my whiskey.
What was the
Now
what
you're
was
talking
the
perfect.
what was
Scott's
the
gonna-
warning we told him? Talking to the mic. Don't look at the person. And I don't know what to do with my hands.
We give you a break, bro. Everybody's been through it. Don't worry about
He's got to
it.
take his ball and go home.
Yeah, he's gonna take his whiskey and go. No,
His
he's
single
we got
ball.
another hour.
that's right.
So you said, how many times did I try to convince you to get the Road Glide over the Street Glide? Is that what your question was going to be?
Well, no, I mean, I asked you about what, and that was the big difference was size-wise, and I tried them both, and I fit better on the Street Glide.
Yeah. The Street Glide is more for average size people, not giants like these two over here.
Yeah, I'm
the
a
Road Glide is a
fan.
great bike for the road.
Fan.
If
Fan
I
of
was
Street
tall,
Glide.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah, and my first touring bike or
That's right.
bagger was a Street Glide, and I much more prefer them over the Road Glide. And it really came down to look. The front end of the Street Glide looks better to me than the Road Glide, at least before they came out with the newer model.
Pre 2015, they came back
the
out.
15.
The
So
15s.
I got a 15, and part of that also was my brother had a 12 or 13 Road Glide, and I rode it, and I really liked it because as a taller rider, you can set those bars a little more forward,
Yep, absolutely.
and you don't feel the dash doesn't feel like it's right in your face like it does on a Street Glide. And so they made a lot of improvements to the look of the Road Glide. But if I was a little bit shorter, I'd probably stay with my Street Glide.
Yep.
'Cause, I mean, essentially they're the same damn bike. It's just the front fairing.
Yeah, they're the same frame, everything. It's the front fairing that's the difference. Yeah, exactly. Good. If there's any good question there.
Oh, here's a good one.
As far as real quick, let me do price and then ask
Well,
that.
hold on a minute. Then why don't you ask me if there's a good question? Then say,
I
then
did.
tell me
'cause-
stop it.
Go for it.
No,
Go for
you
it.
first.
All right.
Squid just texted me and said, "This is a rough crowd."
This is a rough crowd, dude.
Well, Spider Mode 223 in the house.
Spider Mo 2 through 3, Indian Chieftain Classic base price. If you're thinking about price, it used to be Indians were a little bit cheaper and they're really pricing themselves up now. And honestly, there's no real difference between the price. You're talking about an Indian Chieftain Classic base price, $26,700. You're talking about a Harley Street Glide Special base price, $27,000. With the Indian Chieftain Limited, it'll actually be more than a Street Glide Special. So honestly, you're talking about, I mean, they're priced pretty comparably now. Am I correct on that, Rick? I mean, is that a fair statement?
Yeah. Well, this new one is more than what I ever paid for mine. I mean, I think I only paid like 23 or 24,000 for my 18.
Here's a limited for 26,749. So I
Yeah,
guess
that's
I
the
meant
new one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're very within $340 base
That
price.
Harley
Well, they might as well-
Harley Davidson looking fairing
They might
costs
as
you
well
an
sell them
extra
for the
couple
same
$100.
price. They look the same, sell them for the same.
Right? Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Go ahead with any questions there, and we'll round this thing up. Oh, here. Go ahead. Do you have a question, Lurch? Otherwise, I'll.
No.
Okay. So here's one thing I'm interested in, and I brought it up. You're talking about the Power Stroke, the 111 Thunderstroke. Now, it used to be bigger than the Harley-Davidson 103s, which was an 1811 cc. The Indian, interesting to me is Indian hasn't done shit with that motor for years now. They unveiled the Power Stroke 111 back in 2013, and they sat on that thing. Not a thing since then. That's one thing I say about Harley. They're always upgrading every couple of years. They're making bigger motors, and I don't know why Indian's just sitting on that. They're going to have to get in the game and do something besides that 111 because, as you stated, the Milwaukee-eight to you is more peppy anyways. It was a big deal when they came out with it. It was.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was like, the 111. Oh, you have a little 103 Harley, and it was a big Thunderstroke. And now, the Milwaukee-eights are to me, and from what you've said, Rick, more peppy. So to me, Indian better get their shit together on that motor and do something new that it's exciting. But that's just my personal opinion. Feel free to cut in at any time, anybody. But the 2019, so we're talking 1811 cc's for that 111 Thunderstroke. We go down to the Harley 107 and 114. And the 2019 Harley-Davidson Street Glide Special is coming now, 114-inch Milwaukee-eight stock. It's 1868 cc. They're basically the same. I mean, you're not talking about that many cc's difference, but so I'll be interested to see what Indian does. They can't sit on that motor forever. They've got to do new, innovative, exciting stuff to continue to pull market share from Harley-Davidson. That's just my opinion again. So real quick, Rick, and then we'll wrap this up because we are going long. The Indian Stage 1 pipes. So Rick originally put on this on his 2018 Indian Chieftain Limited. He put the Indian Stage 1 pipes, or basically mufflers. and he did a canned map. And so the video we recently put out, which is on our YouTube channel for free, he decided to get away from that stage 1 and go with Freedom Performance True Duals, and we put a Power Commander 5 EFI tuner. The exhaust video install is free. Our Power Commander 5 install on the Indian, which is a little more complicated than a Harley. It's a really good video. It turned out really well. It's one of our 4 purchase videos.
That's a bargain, by the way, because that took us hours.
It was more difficult than we thought.
And
I
will guarantee you, anybody, even as mechanically inclined, other than Mark Arnold, which I think could probably work on any,
he could smoke any of us
could-
over
he-
here.
he could
He's smarter
work
than
on
every
any bike.
single one of us here.
I've been seeing the inside of his motor
I
here
know.
lately on Facebook.
That guy just laughs
But,
at us. But
I
he's
will
a great
tell
guy.
you that connection on that bike, there's quite a bit to it, and you're actually unplugging the front and rear injectors and replacing them with the new sub. You know, you're basically fooling the system to go through this Power Commander. And if you just tried to read the directions and do it yourself, unless you're Mark Arnold, or maybe there's some others in our group that are, very talented, they would get it.
Right.
They would get it. But just reading those, if it wasn't for the fact that I've installed a similar system on a V-Rod, which was kind of set up, installed almost, I told you that was almost like identical the way that they were doing it. Mm-hmm. So that's a bargain if you're going to do that.
Why did you go with the Power Commander 5?
So I guess one thing I'll say, the stage 1, well, they don't make a fuel pack 3 for it. Vance and Hines doesn't. That's one reason. So you're kind of stuck.
Okay.
But I know that Rick originally told me, and he can jump in here. He did the stage 1 on there, and
which is nothing but a muffler and a download.
It
It's
doesn't
not even
remove
an
the
air
cats.
intake.
It doesn't
Okay.
remove the cats either. It's just mufflers. So tell us more about that. So you didn't really like that?
So when I bought it stock, I went with the stage 1, which is basically just a USB download that they plug into the computer.
The
in
ECM,
front. Yeah.
right?
Well, it's not even the ECM.
Oh.
It's just it just plugs in like a USB in the top of the Ride Planner radio.
Right, but that goes into the
And then
ECM.
it downloads it.
It downloaded it, right.
And the exhaust, I didn't want anything at that point in time super loud. I just wanted it to kind of purr and maybe bark a little bit. I didn't really notice, for the money, I didn't notice that it really did anything, the stage 1, because you're not replacing the air or anything.
Right.
So I decided to go, I went to the K&N website through our affiliate link.
Revzilla.
No, through our, we have a K&N
We do have a
affiliate
K&N
link.
on our banners page.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I bought a K&N filter for my bike, and then I bought the Dynojet Power Commander 5, and then I bought Freedom Performance exhaust, and now that thing is like a screamer.
Yeah. And the cool thing is what Rick did is true duals. The Freedom Performance, we got them again. It's on our website, and it's also on the YouTube. But we have affiliate links through
Revzilla.
through Revzilla,
Through the link
to the exhaust he bought. But it's nice because those true duals got rid of the cats, those catalytic converters in his headers, and that alone opens it up. And he got rid of a whole bunch of heat. So yeah, I think don't spend your money. To me, what Rick told me, and he may agree, don't waste your money on any stage 1 stuff. If you get an Indian, just go to something aftermarket, get rid of those catalytic converters. And really one of your best options is the Power Commander 5. And that video is so freaking detailed. I was really, really happy with how that turned out. And we show you the computer and how to download it and upload can maps and what you need to do to the complete install, which is definitely more difficult than a Harley. It just seems like Power Commander 5 focuses on Harley, and then they try to make stuff for Indian, but they don't. It still works just as well. They don't dial in the plug and playness of it so much, if that's a word, the plainness of it. But with that video, again, like Rick says, with the paper instructions, you may pull your hat a little bit, but you watch the video. It's very, very, very detailed.
What is it, like $24.95 or something like that?
Yeah, I think we priced it at $24.
If you guys are going to buy a Power Commander 5 and put it on your own Indian, spend the $25 because you're going to pay the dealer about 3-4 hours.
Exactly.
At $80 an hour. And I'm going to tell you, this is something you can do. We even show you how to take the tank off.
Yep.
We show you how to do all of it. And it was pretty sweet. I mean, it is good. Like I told you, the biggest difference is, even with both having the same upgrades, is it just seems like to me the Indian takes off with the torque a little bit quicker, but in the back end the Harley's just winds up a little bit more. But that's just my 2 cents.
I love it. your 2 cents is worth a lot because you're sporting both these bikes and especially the Indian with the experience. So the only additional thing I think that I wanted to bring up, and I had something here, but I can't remember.
While you're
what it
looking,
is.
I'll ask a question.
Yeah, please do.
Is there a lot of aftermarket parts for the Indians? I mean, can you?
He said that a little bit up front. One of the cons.
Well,
It's not like the Harleys. but
because
there are some out there.
the bar setup is really interesting. The way they hook and come way back instead of it's just a very different setup than the Harley. So is there a lot of different bars a guy can put on there? Or?
I will tell you, and you know that I love my apes. And I'm going to tell you, I absolutely love those stock bars on the Chieftain. I won't change them.
You like them just
They're
as
in a
is?
good-
It's very
they're in a
comfortable.
good position.
Very comfortable.
Is there any adjustment?
I believe there is,
little bit.
but I've just left them where they're at, and
Okay.
I've really enjoyed them.
All right.
They do have an ape hanger kit for it, but I'm not going to waste my money. I've already got my ape hangered bike, so
Right.
I will tell you, I don't plan on. I really don't want to get rid of this. I'm really impressed with it, and there's times when I'm riding it and I'm like, why do I even have the Harley? But then I'll go out on the Harley. I'm like, why do I even have the Indian? It's almost like a wife and a girlfriend.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Right.
Yeah, they're both baggers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, and then we got to wrap this up. I knew this was going to go long, but biker gripper for our biker gripper cell phone mount. What's the fitment for Indian? What should guys get if they want the biker gripper for the Indian?
Well, as you guys should know, our biker grippers actually offer a metric and a imperial bolt.
They come with both bolts for the
bolts,
perch
so they
mount.
will work. The one that worked best for me was the universal.
Which just goes around the bar.
Just goes around the bar. And that's the one I liked. I put it perfectly right to the left, and it works perfect for me. So I like the universal.
You put it on the left side.
Yes.
Does that have a cable clutch?
Yes.
So it's not hydraulic, so you've got room for the universal.
Yeah.
So order the same biker grippers that you order for in our store if you want that cell phone mount. Sleekest.
I have it on the right because
Right.
I have the cup holder. I have the Zero drink holder available in our store
Nice. That was coming up in.
with the, and that's also on the bar.
Okay, very good.
I think that's on the bar too. The Harley, I think, has the perch mounts, and I think that has the universal mounts.
Gotcha. So same biker grippers, guys. You can get for your Indian, same models. Again, if you're going to do the perch mount, they come with both. Rick, maybe this is premature and maybe it is coming, maybe it isn't, but you had talked to me at one time about working with them about a roadside toolkit. Where's that at?
They changed ownership.
So not going to happen.
I don't know when
At
it's going
this
to happen.
point.
I think that I've talked to him really quick about it with the new owners, and they're definitely open trying to get that. The company that bought the Cruise Tools is actually very involved in adventure bike riding.
Okay.
So obviously they're going to be aggressive to try and get good stuff out there because that's a major niche, for tools and what you need out on those rides and rough rides.
Right. Okay, so we'll work on it, continue to work on it, guys. We have our Cruise Tool RTH3 toolkit for Harley-Davidson Roadside Emergency Toolkit. Rick, just know, because he's has an Indian, he's been asked about that in the past. He is working on that. We'll see in the future if we can get that in the store. Any last questions before we take it out, guys? We appreciate each and every one of you being in here. All you guys that are watching live, we really appreciate it. In the live chat, you guys were so involved. Sorry if we didn't get to all your questions. And thanks for being in there. Rick, why don't you take it out with a call to action with the old talk about our Zero 3D cup holder. I don't have any notes for it. Just tell the audience because we sell the bejesus out of those things.
Yeah, the Zero 3D drink holder available in perch mount and also variations of universal mounts to include 7/8 to 1 inch and 1 1/4 inch.
Bars,
Yes.
round bars, yep.
And
or
those
your
kits
control
come
clusters,
in,
yeah.
And they come in either all black or we have the model that has the black basket and the chrome ring. And we also have some items that are going to soon not be available anymore, and those are going to be the
holder
drink
that
holders
comes with a cup.
With the cup, yep. And they're not going to be carrying those anymore. And we have a nice assortment. So if that's the style you want, get them now before they're not available anymore.
Yep, and we do have on the YouTube channel a video when I actually mounted that and showed you the drink holder that I use on my bike. It's the Zero 3D. It's kind of a universal basket with a chrome ring, control mount or bar mount, however you guys want to do it. But rode cross country with that thing and got my coffee in there and my water bottles. Got my beer in there. I mean, I do not have a beer in there. Lurch.
You better not.
I do not have a beer in there. It's just a joke. But yeah, selling the bejesus out of those things because it is a great addition if you're going to actually ride farther than here to lunch to have your beverages on there. And especially it was 100 plus riding across New Mexico this year and stuff like that. It was great to have a water bottle up there, let me tell you, to wet the old whistle. I'm just saying, dude. And anything we talked about, guys, if you're not watching, if you're listening in podcast format later, of course, months later, because we're way ahead, you don't get these for months. But our patrons get them right freaking now. But I will put in the show notes links to the Power Commander 5 video and anything else we talked about, the exhaust video. They will be in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is. And right after this, when we take a break, we're going to do another episode with Scooter here. It's going to be about him, some of his past experience. There's going to be some about the Sworn Few Motorcycle Club. But we are going to, it's not going to be live, but we are going to record it. It will be just like this with cameras and mics. And we will upload the link to that in the back of your Patreon account. So even though it's not live, you'll still get that episode 2 months before everybody else that just gets them for free and doesn't want to get involved as much in the biker revolution. All right, so we're trying to give all that unlimited access to you patrons here in 2019, ramping shit up.
Scott, pop this cherry.
Nicely done, dude.
Thanks, guys.
Out like a trout.
My first one, and it's a live one.
Next one, next one, you're going to do a lot more talking.
Broken
bro.
right in.
We're out of here, guys. Thanks.
Face down, ass up.